Hi, everyone. I want to welcome you here tonight. Thank you so much for giving Camp Interlaken your time. We're so grateful that you're here. Thank you, a specific thank you to Ian Sharp, our song leader from 2018 for that beautiful recording of CIL Roads. My name is Mark Gutman and I'm the Assistant Director of Camp Interlaken. By now, I can assume that many of you are familiar with Zoom because of the large number of participants tonight. We're going to be using this webinar format, which means we won't be able to see you and we won't be able to hear from you. Down below, you'll see a Q&A button and you can use that to ask questions, but I ask you to hold off until the end of this presentation. There's a good chance that we're going to answer all of your questions throughout this town hall. We are going to be recording this call so that those who are unable to be here tonight will be able to hear and see this. A link is going to be sent out and shared with our community shortly. I want to say that you're all part of a really strong family. Tonight really represents a community gathering. We gather for celebrations and for sad occasions as well. Tonight is one of those sad occasions. Since 1966, camp has been a special place for so many. Laughter, singing, real friendships, arms around our shoulders in a moment of need. We will be back to the shores of Lake Fenley together again. The only way around something is through it. Together, we're going to get through this. And with that, I want to turn this over to Tony Davison.
Thank you, Mark, for that great opening. Hi, everybody. Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight. I see parents, campers, supporters, staff, and friends of Camp Interlaken here. Thank you all for your support. For those of you who have reached out to me today, thank you. I've seen your outreach. I will respond to each and every one of you as soon as I can. I'm assuming that you've all seen one of our emails today. In case you haven't, we've made the hard decision to suspend all in-person programming at Camp Interlaken this summer. I never imagined that this was a hoda'ah that we would have to share with our families. We are all experiencing this loss in some way. And for you and your children, it might be even harder because I know that they've experienced so many disappointments and so many adjustments, and this is impacting you deeply and personally, and I know you'll need some time to process. I want to thank you all for your patience with us. About 3 weeks ago, when our friends and colleagues were beginning to make the same decision that we made today, we asked you to stay the course. We asked you to wait with us. We asked you to help us make sure that we've left no stone unturned. And you waited, and I'm grateful for that. I'd like to thank the camp team for their hard work and for living through the uncertainty that we've all been feeling. Mark, our assistant director, Tova, our program director, Nicole, our camping services coordinator. Together, we've exhausted planning for each and every possible scenario for the summer. They have all worked tirelessly, and I am so grateful to have this incredible team that we have to support all of us at camp and an amazing product for everyone. I want to spend a minute speaking directly to some of the people on this call. Firstly, I want to speak to our new campers. You haven't been to camp yet. You haven't had the opportunity to discover what's so special and what's so awesome about Camp Interlaken. You haven't yet discovered that there are no strangers at camp. There are only friends you have not yet met, and they become your family. Please come next year so you can experience this with us. To our returning campers, you know how amazing camp is. You know how beautiful it is. You know how much fun we have. All of our activities are amazing. Shabbat, there aren't even any words to describe. Your friendships, your staff who make you feel special, included, and loved. I know this decision is gut-wrenching, and I'm so sad for each and every one of you. To our summer staff who are here, you are talented, outstanding leaders and people. Our campers would have really loved learning from you and being with you this summer. Your devotion to campers, to the staff, to our families, and to Interlaken is really amazing. We're really lucky to have you. And to our alumni, community leaders, and parents, thank you for your patience, your kindness, your trust, and your support. Tonight we have a few goals in this time together in our community gathering, and Mark's gonna bring us to the next slide. you'll see on our goals that we have together, Mark already talked about our strong community or our family that we have. You see the quote above, Kol Yisrael Arabim Zebazeh. This quote means all of Israel is responsible for one another. We are all responsible for one another, and together we are a family, and we are strong, and we are here. Our next goal, and I don't see that next slide. I don't know if everyone else sees it, and I just don't. Our next goal is we want to share with you.
It is up on the screen.
Okay, great. It's just my internet then. Next, I want to share with you how we got to this decision. After that, we want to answer some of the frequently asked questions that have already come our way. We want to share with you what will happen next. After the friendship circle, we're going to pause for a moment. And if anyone has additional questions that they'd like answered, we'll do a Q&A. But we wanted to make that time optional because we wanted to make sure that we were making the best use of your time. And so it is optional for you to stay on and join us for that. Again, like Mark asked in the beginning, please make sure that you're typing your questions in the Q&A, or we'd like you to save them till the end in case we're able to answer them now for you. So let's move on to how we made this decision. And that's our next slide. And I'm assuming I will see it later. Oh, there it is. So what you see in front of you is the graphic for the JCC's decision-making criteria. And this is the criteria that we use in the JCC, Camp Interlaken, to make all decisions that we're making right now regarding COVID-19 and how it is impacting our entire agency. Starting in March, we started working with experts from the CDC, the American Camp Association, the state of Wisconsin, Vilas County, Foundation for Jewish Camp. We created our own medical task force. I worked very closely with other camping professionals and more. And I want you to know that this is not necessarily a medical decision, but we did use the medical input to make a camp decision. We know how much we all wanted to be at camp this summer, so we didn't give up. We delayed, we asked you to stay the course, we pivoted, we changed, we shifted, and unfortunately we got to where we are today. Every summer I promise you that I'm going to send home your camper a better version of themselves. I can't promise that to you this summer. The guidelines that the CDC is requiring for us to follow are so restrictive that they will not allow us to run a program that at all represents the Camp Interlaken that we know and love. Without contact sports, that means no tush ball. Being confined to only interacting within our group of 10 in our cabin. So that means no choice chugim. We'd be moving together just with our cabin and not doing any programming with any others. Only swimming in the pool, but at a 6-foot distance from one another, and maybe not even able to use Lake Finley for swimming or other activities. We wouldn't be able to all eat our meals together. And we imagine getting off the buses when you arrive at camp on the Flowville and not being able to hug your friends. Imagine not being able to gather in the Ulam for Boom, Silent Disco, the musical, a talent show, and altering programs like Maccabia and Sha'ar Naval. Those are just some examples of some of the things that would either not exist or have to change and be something that we didn't recognize and probably also didn't really love in order for us to be at camp. As we know, Camp Interlaken is the opposite of social distancing. This is not the camp we know. The CDC has told us we will have COVID-19 in our camps this summer if we open, and that the moment any camper presents with a cough, that they'd have to be quarantined. I don't know about you, but Camp Crud is something that visits me every single summer. When we find out that we have positive cases of COVID-19 or more than one, Vilas County could close us down and ask us to send everybody home. We know that the decision to suspend programming this summer is smarter than if we were to begin programming and then have to close midway through our session and send everybody home. We spend our summers every summer caring for and loving your children. We enrich future leaders. We inspire Jewish journeys. We do not believe that both the health and experience risk of camp was worth a forced solution. We prioritize the physical, emotional, and social health of everyone we serve, and we know that we cannot provide the Interlaken experience that you deserve, that you expect, and that you signed up for. On our website, and you have links to this in the letters that were sent out today, you can see more about our decision-making process, and there are lengthy details if you want to read more. And I'm happy to talk more with you about this offline if you want to. We're going to move into some FAQs right now and questions that have come our way already that we know are on your mind. And Nicole is going to go ahead and talk to us about our camp fees and how to manage the fees you've already paid and what to expect.
Thank you, Tony. Many of you have reached out today with questions regarding camp fees and how they are going to be reconciled. Tomorrow, we will be sending an email with information regarding fee reconciliation to all families registered for the Israel trip, camp, and family camp. This email will contain a personal link to a customized form that will contain your family's information and allow you to choose how you'd like us to reconcile the fees you have paid to camp. We recognize these are difficult economic times, and we want to remain financially sensitive and offer a range of options to meet the various needs of our community. There will be 4 options available to you on how you'd like camp to reconcile your fees. You can roll over to summer 2021, donate to the sustainability of camp, refund all fees back to you, or any combination of the above. Any amount of your camp fees that you choose to roll over will be applied as a credit towards your balance when you enroll for summer 2021. The dates for 2021 can be found on the Camp Interlaken website. Any donation of your camp fees will be matched dollar for dollar. We are grateful to the vision and generosity of the Harold Grinspoon Foundation and JCamp 180, who have created the All Together Now matching grant for Jewish camp. Any additional donations will be matched by them 1 to 2. Any amount of your camp fees that you choose to have refunded to you will be processed by our accounting department in 2 installments on June 15th and July 15th. The deadline to submit your form is Friday, June 5th, and the form must be filled out and submitted in order for us to reconcile your camp fees. I'll be available via email or can schedule time to call if you have any questions about your options, questions about your form, or if you do not receive your form by the end of day tomorrow.
One of the other questions that we've been getting a lot is about our milestones and all the celebrations at camp, specifically thinking to our 3-year, 5-year, 10-year, and 13-year items. We've been thinking about this. We want you to know, or we know that many of you are looking forward to receiving them. And when you return to camp in 2021 or any future summer, this summer will still count. So for example, if you were supposed to get your 3-year shirt this summer, and when you attend camp in summer 2021, you'll get your 3-year shirt, and also 2021 will be considered your 4th-year summer. So we don't want you to miss out on any of those milestones. For a moment, I want to speak to our Kafar campers and our Ozrim. I know that this news is especially disappointing. These are special summers for you. And for our Kafar campers, we're planning an 11th grade Kafar program, as well as an Israel trip for 2021. We hope that you will consider joining one or both of these summer experiences. And as soon as we have more information, we'll share that with you, most likely in the early fall. To our Ozrim who are on the call, I know that you have already spent many, many hours on Zoom with your mama and papa, talking, planning, thinking about summer, and we want these to continue. You can expect to hear from us in the next couple of weeks or so to set up some time so we can talk about your Ozo summer. As to the question about what about all the other camps that are open, each camp has their own set of criteria that they're using to make the decisions. And as you saw from the graphic that we displayed earlier, we have our own set of decision-making criteria. And after following guidelines, recommendations, and consulting with experts, we're certain that we have made the best decision for our community. Lastly, when can I sign up for 2021? As Nicole said, our dates are already up on our dates and rates website. We haven't updated or changed the rates yet and made any rates for 2021, but we've left up the rates for 2020 for your reference. Registration should be opening in late August or early September.
Thank you, Mark. I want to talk for a minute about how to support your camper. I know I've heard from so many of you, and I know there were tears and anger and sadness at some of your homes, and this will likely continue. For today, our best role as parents is to listen and to validate how our campers are feeling rather than trying to move them along or try to fix it. Let them grieve. Camp is something they were really looking forward to, and now it's gone. It's really upsetting. Giving your kids space to emote is really important. Check in on them, see how they're feeling, see how they're managing. Know that you're not going through this alone, and we're going through this together. Give yourself and give your camper a little space to be able to process this. On our website, you'll also find there's a link to it in the letter you got today, and on our site, there is a page that has incredible resources about how to help support your camper. There are ways on how to approach campers of different age. There are different instructions and different suggestions, and there are a ton of links to articles and things that could help you and can help your camper. This could be a complicated process, but we're here for you, and we're here to support you also. And over the course of the coming weeks, we're going to be setting up calls with our campers by age group, by unit, by cabin, so that we can stay engaged and stay together and continue to be a part of the community that we all know and love so much. For our next slide, we're going to talk about what's next, and I'm going to turn that over to Tova to review.
Thank you, Tony. So as Nicole shared, you will be receiving an email with information about financial options that will arrive tomorrow. While we have been physically apart, we have seen that virtual experiences have been bringing us together socially and in Ruach, in spirit. Keep your eyes open for camper support meetings with members from our team. As the camp team works on planning summer programming, we would like to hear what our campers would enjoy and find meaningful. A parent survey is going out early next week to gather community feedback. Interlaken is committed to building summer experiences that are driven by our campers' interests. Our core values have always shaped our program and will continue to do so in creative and fun ways. If you or your camper have any ideas or insight on how we can best succeed in our goal, make sure to offer those suggestions in the open-ended response portion of the survey. Parents, you will continue to receive Monday emails with the menu of virtual engagement options for the coming week, and make sure to catch the updated schedules on our social media channels, as well as campinterlaken.org/virtualcamp. The emails will now be coming from me. If you have any questions about the weekly programming, please reply to the email to ask. I invite the whole community to show up for Camp Interlaken's first ever Kabbalat Shabbat Shira, Shabbat songs, this Friday, May 22nd at 6:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the following evening, start a new week with Camp Interlaken at Havdalah Live, Saturday, May 23rd at 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. Both will be broadcast through Facebook Live. I hope that you all participate and enjoy. We are looking forward to when we can gather safely and in good health back in our Machaneh. Until then, #CIL Roads, together at home.
Thanks, Tova. As we wrap up our portion of what we wanted to share with you in this community gathering, it's appropriate sometimes that we end with a prayer, even before we end with our friendship circle. And today we're thinking about all of those affected by COVID-19, whether they're affected physically or emotionally, and beyond COVID-19, anyone who is suffering or sick in the world right now. And Tova is going to lead us in singing Mishaberach.
Mishaberach מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishabeira imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Thank you, Tova. That was really beautiful. At this point, I'm going to ask everyone to place your right hand over your left hand and hold hands with the people who are next to you. And we're going to sing together in a friendship circle. And after the friendship circle is over, that concludes our part of this community gathering. We will take questions and answers after the friendship circle. If you'd like to stay for that portion, you absolutely can. We'll pause for a moment while people decide if they're staying or if they're going. So please place your right hand over your left and join me. Ayo, oh, ayo, oh, don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Just walk beside me and be my friend. Together we will walk in the ways of Hashem. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Leolam Vaed Rad Hayom Shemesh Dom Kochavim Notzatzim Bamarom Laila Ba Lemnucha Shalom, shalom, day is done, gone the sun, from the lakes, from the hills, from the sky, all is well, safely rest, God is nigh, shalom. I'm so sorry for all of us about this summer. I can't wait to be back together on the shores of Lake Finley. We will get there. We'll be together there again. Please start your countdown for the summer of 21. We all really need something to look forward to. At camp, we don't say goodbye. We say lahitraot, which means see you soon. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank all of you. And I wish you healthy and better days ahead. We love you and lahitraot. Don't forget to take your bedtime meds. And thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We'll pause for a moment and see if anyone is staying for questions and answers, and allow for those who are leaving to leave. Okay, it looks like we have about 200 people who are sticking around for questions. And Mark Shapiro, our CEO of our JCC, is going to moderate our questions again.
Tony, there appears to be a number of people who I completely understand would like to know if we have any idea if we could explain the 11th grade option. One is, will there still be an Israel trip? And the second would be, what would this program look like as we're moving forward?
So I'm going to first answer you by saying I'm not sure yet. I am committed to our 11th graders being able to come to camp for their final summer as a camper. I have different ideas in my head where we'd have a couple weeks at camp, a couple weeks in Israel, maybe a week back in camp. You could do both. You could do one or the other. We are needing to look at how large our groups are. And I know these are our incoming 10th graders in 21 and our incoming 11th graders in 21 are both big groups. And so we have to look at where everybody would live and how we would fit and what that would look like. But we'll make it happen. We just need a little bit of time.
We had somebody who's asking questions about things like the PJ goes to camp money, or maybe the One Happy Camper dollars. Will those opportunities roll over to future years?
I'm looking at Nicole to see if she knows the answer to this off the top of her head. I believe that I have seen that those dollars will roll over. Nicole will be reaching out and contacting all of the providers, all the federations and whomever else manages distribution of that money and talking with them about what the plans are. We are not the first camp to go through this. And so by now I know that they have procedures and policies that they'll share with us, and we'll share them to everyone that it's appropriate to share with.
Question about the OZOs of 2020. Will there be an opportunity for OZOs to continue to be OZOs maybe in a future summer, or would they be guaranteed staff spots for next year?
Oh, that's a good question. So Ozream, we will be setting up a meeting with you in the upcoming week and a half so that we can talk about what this summer will look like, your OZO summer. As far as automatic staff positions, it's also right now something that I'm not able to commit to at this moment. But we will talk more with you individually as a group when we get together with you in the next week.
I think that maybe just because I'm seeing a bunch of them, if I can take a moment, there continue to be questions asking about the 10th and 11th grade in Israel trip. And I think the answer to all of the questions are, we're going to be responding in the future, in the near future. And the near future being, we need a couple of weeks to get this answer under our belt of what's happened with this summer. And really look, one of the things that's great about the Jewish camping field is it is a brotherhood and a sisterhood of camp directors and camp people who learn the best from each other. And so rather than rushing to make a decision for the 2021 season, we're gonna recognize that it takes time to identify the best options, and we'll learn from the campers what they're seeking and put the best opportunities for Israel, Kafar, and Ozo together that we can. We're not gonna be in a position to be able to answer it with any specificity today. So I'm gonna use that just kind of as a rolling answer for all of our Kafar, 11th grade and Ozo and Israel trip questions.
Thank you, Mark, for that. We also, Kafarniks will be in touch with you also in the next week or two as a group so that we can talk about what you're looking for next year.
And mostly, Tony, all the rest of it is just a tremendous amount of love and admiration for you and Tova, Mark and Nicole, and the unbelievable leadership that you have shown to make very difficult decisions, and just tremendous amount of outpouring of love.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. It's truly an honor to be the director of Camp Interlaken and be the caretaker of this place that is so special to so many people and is so formative to so many people's lives.
Ivy.
So Are there no more questions?
All the rest are just people who are saying they very much appreciate this and they're now going to hang up and go cry.
Okay. We will all be in our homes crying too. So thank you.
Very much look forward to seeing everyone at Friday night for Shabbat.
Yes, we are excited. Please join us. We've never done something like this before. It's new, and we will be singing. We've got a great lineup, a good group, an amazing group of song leaders, and I will really look forward to bringing in Shabbat with my family.
Tony, I do want to say another question has popped up while we're here asking, does this in any way impact the decision about Rainbow Day Camp? For our Milwaukee attendees, look in the next coming days for some information about our plans to roll out summer programs for children of all camper ages in the Milwaukee area. You earlier saw the 5 criteria for the decision making for all programs of our JCC. And I think that we will be coming out with an update in the coming days that I believe we can state is promising for the opportunity to offer programs for children of all ages here in the Milwaukee area. And for those of you in other communities, please consider turning to your local JCC to find out what programs they're offering on their sites, whether that is day camp or other summer programs. I know that my brothers and sisters in the JCC field are leaving no stone unturned to take on the responsibility of being there to care for all of your children, especially in light of the unbelievable burden that was put on the overnight camp world to try and execute a summer. Hopefully the day camping and early childhood field will be able to fill those gaps that are created by this sad outcome.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you so much, everybody. I can't wait to see you all soon. Have a great night.